Uh, my name is Dan Antonelli, and I run a company called Imagination Spring. And we have offices down at the Innovation Quarter, and we do ed tech for school. And I'm also a creative confidence coach for kids. So, and actually have an event down at the Coal Pit today, or this evening, from 6 to 7 for an outdoor art exhibition for everybody who wants to come.
Nice for you to join us today, Dan. And what time is that?
6 to 7 down at the Coal Pit. And we will be having sidewalk chalk, and I roll out big old sheets of paper and put markers and just give everybody a prompt, and young, old, everybody starts making it happen.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you both to April as well as to Dan for the quick introductions, as we learned from Tony that we are in some type of solar flare and it's impacting technology, as you all noticed today. So thank you again, everyone, for bearing with us. I know we're about 15 minutes behind, but we'll try to play catch up. For those that are new to Marketing Outside the Box, I want to quickly introduce myself. I am Magali Yacinth. I serve as the Interim Executive Director of Hustle Winston-Salem, which is a nonprofit located in North Carolina, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So if you're joining us from anywhere outside of the Piedmont Triad area, we welcome you and thank you again for joining us. I'm really excited about our topic for the month of July, as we have guest speaker Kishia Ward, who those who are very familiar with Marketing Outside the Box know that Kishia has been with us several times over the last 2 years, and we're excited to have her back again, this time focused on the power of influencer marketing. And it's a 3-week series. So really hope that you are able to digest the information that she'll pour into you, so that we can see it reflected back in your businesses and organizations. As always, please feel free to use the chat, as well as those on Facebook. Use the comment section to tell us who you are, tell us your business, tell us ways that we can connect with you on social media and things of that nature. Unfortunately, an hour is not enough time for us to meet and greet every single person on the call. So that is our way of making sure that we do that. I will allow Kishia to introduce herself and jump right into the presentation again, so that we can make the most of the remaining of the hour that we have. So Kishia, I will hand it over to you.
Hello. My name is Kishia Ward, and I am the digital strategist for Opulence Marketing Group. It is a digital marketing company that's based in Atlanta, Georgia. And I guess since we don't have that much time, let me just jump right into the presentation. All right, so today we're going to be discussing the power of influencer marketing. And as I mentioned before, let's go just a moment. Yes, I am Kishia Chantel, again, digital strategist and owner of Opulence Marketing Group. We specialize in social media marketing, consulting, and strategy. So the agenda for today, we're going to discuss what is influencer marketing, what it is not, influencer marketing types, sizes, and campaigns, how you can measure the effectiveness of your influencer marketing campaign. We're going to wrap it up, and then I'm going to give you all homework. And anyone that's been on any of my presentations before know that I love to start it with a quote. And so my quote today is, don't pay solely for likes and views, pay for a creator who can speak intelligently about your brand. And that's a quote from Joel Robinson. So why influencer marketing? According to these facts, 83% of consumers say they trust and recommend recommendations, from family and friends over advertising, and so in advertising over like celebrities. Influencer marketing, the industry is set to grow at 13.8 billion by this year. And I know there were statistics last year pre-pandemic that said that they expected it to shrink. But again, due to rising in other social media platforms like TikTok, YouTube, they projected it to actually increase. 56% of brands use the same influencers across different campaigns. I don't know if you all noticed, if you follow certain celebrities or follow certain pages or group or influencers, they typically tend to cycle back specific products. So that's something you want to pay attention to when you decide, and if you decide to do a campaign. 67% of brands use Instagram for their marketing. And actually 45% of respondents for surveys said that they're using TikTok. So TikTok is growing, but again, you want to assess where your market is, where your audience is, and use whatever social media platform accordingly, excuse me. When it comes to the types of influencer marketing, it seems like the micro and nano influencers have better engagement rates than mega influencers. And we'll dive into that in a few slides to kind of let you know what that means and what that looks like for you. All right, so what is influencer marketing? It's a strategy to reach the right audience. You want to be able to make sure that your brand is getting in front of proper audiences in order to reach your goal, whether it's sales, whether you want to get more clients, you want to make sure that you're using the right audience. It's a virtual word of mouth, essentially, instead of, back in the day, grassroots, where if you had a client, they would tell a client. You can now use, depending on the size of your audience, another person and leverage their platform and audience in order to reach a particular audience. Another reason why it's important and why it works is it's low cost and highly effective, because what people don't realize is online, people are already talking about your brand. You already have an audience. You already have a group of people that absolutely love your brand. So why not leverage them and allow them to post and do reviews for their audience to help promote your brand? So it's also a campaign. It's not just a single post. It's not just a one-time review. It's something that's measurable, that's consistent, and it shows trust and gives your brand social proof, which again, people want to see. People want to make sure your brand is viable. They want to make sure that they could trust you and that they will fall in love with your product or service. So what influencer marketing is not. It is not spending a lot of money on posts or stories, because we've all heard or seen or possibly experienced where you might find this one person and they have 1 million followers and you send them free products or you pay them, they post maybe a story or a post on Instagram and they'll take it down like within a couple of hours, and you kind of don't really see return from that. So that's what it is not. It's not sending free products again to celebrities or people with a lot of followers, and we'll get into why that strategy doesn't work. It's not driving constant direct purchases to a website. And that's just to set an expectation that it does take time to build your audience with influencer marketing. If you do it the right way, eventually, yes, you will get those purchases, but it's not something that is going to happen in that moment, typically. It's not a tool for you to go viral. If you do, awesome, but I wouldn't, again, have that expectation. It's not an overnight campaign, as I mentioned, that works once. Absolutely, if it does, perfect, but managing expectations, it's not something that is going to work in that moment, typically. Assuming that, it's not assuming that more followers equal more influences. A lot of people have fake followers, bots, and I'll get into how you can tell what that looks like, again, in the next few slides. And then it's not a blanket marketing strategy. It's not just one thing. It's not a monolithic thing. Again, it's consistent, and it's something that you need to create a campaign for. So influencer types and sizes is what we're going to discuss. So when it comes to the types of influencers, and you want to make sure that this is aligned with your brand. So if your brand is like a bookstore, you want to make sure that you're aligning with whatever the proper audience is. So typically these are social media influencers, which can include like fashion, etc. People that just kind of post blogs or vlogs where they either travel or kind of just general things like that. You have then like celebrities and TV personalities, like your housewives and, singers. Then you have lifestyle and family. So whether it's women that, post cooking videos or decor, and then you have a lot of activists, thought leaders, and journalists. So depending on who you have identified your ideal client as, you want to make sure you're looking throughout those types. And it can be one, it can be multiple. But it's just, again, you know your brand best, and you want to make sure you align that properly. So as before, when I mentioned the statistics, oh, I'm sorry, did anyone have a question? Okay, I'm gonna keep on trucking. So again, when I mentioned the statistics about the types or the sizes of influencers that do the best, the nano and the micro are the two that everyone's been shifting focus on. So what makes nano and micro unique is the nano is anyone that has between 1,000 and 10,000 followers. And those are typically like your friends, your customers, your family. Why that's more effective is because it looks like they're just sending a review of a product that they they just enjoy or that they love. It's not like they're trying to sell you. It's not like they're trying to, promote anything. It's just them being honest and giving an honest opinion. So people typically trust those posts. And I mean, if you think about it again, are you more likely to buy something that you saw, I don't know, Dolly Parton promote, or your sister or your brother or your father? So you kind of want to think of it in those terms. Micro, again, is between the 10,000 and 50,000 followers. And those tend to be like local influencers. It could be like a local city page or a municipality or something like that, where it's still not that large of a following, but it's still up in the realm where you don't have to worry too much about the fake following. Then it goes up from there, with mid-tier being 50,000 to 500,000 followers. Those can typically be, again, like your lifestyle accounts, some of your smaller brands, local brands. And again, it depends on how many followers and fake followers they have. And there's some software that next week I'll introduce you all to that can kind of help you figure out how many of someone's followers are fake and not fake. That way you can run a better campaign and select what influencers you think will help your brand more efficiently. Macro is 500,000 to 1 million. So a perfect example would be some of the meme accounts. And I don't know if you all follow any of them, but they typically will post an ad, or some of the blog or celebrity blog pages. They typically have around that number of followers. Then your mega influencers are the 1 million plus. So like your Kardashians and a lot of music groups, really popular celebrities. So those are the sizes and the types.
So I want to pause for a quick second on that, just to kind of relate it to the majority of the audience here today. So many of you are small business owners, or you run a smaller organization. So just as you think about the types and the sizes, you can make that relatable to your specific community. So you think about the types, think about your general audience, your overall group. Think about, when we say celebrities, think about your local celebrities. When we're saying bloggers and vloggers, think about those people in your network, in your communities, that run maybe a very popular local blog, whether it's in our local paper, whether it's an actual online blog. Like, really relate this data, this information specifically to your community, because I know this is kind of more broad. But just really want you to think about it from that point of view. Now, some of these terms remain the same. So nano, micro, mid-tier, micro, mega. Yes, that is all accurate as far as that term. But again, the idea here is you relate it back to your specific business. So while the actual term for nano influencer is within that 1,000 to 10,000 followers, you can think about in your specific community, okay, if this is my audience, let's just say, is 1,000. That means 500 is an influencer for you. Can you hear me? Someone with 500 in your specific industry, whatever, that is an influencer for you. So take the concepts, but apply it to what your life and your business is. So I really want you to not let that fall on deaf ears or get lost on you. So I just wanted to point that out.
And even with that, you can find influencers in your own followers, your own sphere, searching hashtags. Like personally, I like to find cool places to eat. Oh, I like to find cool places to eat.
Sorry, we're getting some feedback from someone. Can everybody mute? Because I can't identify who that is. I'm unsure who that is. So if you're not Kishia, please mute. Thank you. Go ahead, Kishia.
Yeah, thank you. So I was saying, again, using hashtags. So specifically, I like to eat. I live in Atlanta. So I'll just find bloggers, and I use bloggers interchangeably when it comes to like Instagram and writing a physical blog, because you can have a physical blog, but some people, use digital blogging on Instagram. So I'll find people that all they do is travel to different restaurants. And those can even be in between the nano and the micro, but they can also be, as Magali said, aligned with your business and someone that you can think of locally. So the next slide, we're going to discuss the types of campaigns. They're kind of general, but these are typically the common campaigns and or types of posts that you will see influencers use. So a lot of it can be reviews, whether it's a service again or a product, just them being honest about whatever your service is and letting their audience know how they feel about it. If it is a specific product, the features of it. If it is, again, a product or service, they can discuss their top favorite parts of it, like my top 5 favorite things about, Opulence Marketing Group. It could be explanatory. So how things have improved for them in their life since they've used your product or since they've used your service. It could be a giveaway or a contest for their own personal audience, which can, again, promote your product. And who doesn't love free things? It could be a page takeover, which I don't know if all of you have noticed during the pandemic became very popular, where cities, municipalities, other brands would allow influencers to take over their page and follow them for a day, or have conversations about specific issues or specific classes that they would host. So page takeover is also a good way to do it. And then sponsored or guest blog posts. So how do you measure your campaigns? This is probably the most important thing that you will use when it comes to marketing, because you need to know if this is an effective strategy. And in order to do that, you want to make sure that you have your KPIs or key performance indicators. 3 of the major ones that you want to measure are engagement, brand awareness and traffic, and then your increase in sales/conversions. So engagement measures the likes, the shares, the comments, and on Instagram, the saves based on follower count. And there's actually a math formula that you can follow in order to find out what the engagement is. And again, that's the likes plus shares plus comments divided by the total number of followers times 100. And so you want to make sure that it's going to be a percent. So you want to make sure that you look and see what that benchmark is for your industry when it comes to influencer marketing, and see how you fare against that. Or if you're running your first campaign, use that to keep track of as you run subsequent campaigns. Are you improving? Like this, not improving? Are you using the right audience? What audience is performing better? So you want to keep that in mind, because that is probably the biggest KPI that you want to use, again, to measure the effectiveness of your campaign. When it comes to brand awareness and traffic, that is your physical page, your website, your post, and your hashtag. So whatever your influencer campaign is, where are you driving them? Are they coming into your business? Are they coming into like a website? Are they coming onto your Facebook page? And so with that, you want to make sure that you're seeing more likes, more views, more page visits, and or more comments on whatever it is that you're driving them to. And that is measurable, again, by you being able to see the increase in those. Increased sales and conversions, again, pretty self-explanatory. That can be measured using promo codes, affiliate codes, or however you choose to track it, which is often when people use influencers, if they are giving discounts or free items, they typically give that influencer an affiliate code. That way they can track, okay, how many people is Katie bringing in? So it'll be, like Katie 20. I'm sure you all have seen that if you are on Instagram and have seen influencers. So sales over visitors or leads is what's going to get you the conversion rate. And again, that's something you want to be tracking from each campaign that you launch to see who is doing the most conversions? Whose audience is your product or service really resonating with? Do you need to switch it up? You know, whatever you need to tweak. These are the KPIs that'll kind of help you decide. So to wrap this up, influencer marketing is a highly effective tool when it's used properly. And that's the key, when it's used properly. You must decide if it's right for you. Some people may say, I don't want the hassle of dealing with this, but you would need to do a pro and con list. And I mean, I think everyone should be doing it. It's typically free. It doesn't really take up too much time, depending on how many influencers you have. And then, you know, they're doing marketing for you. So it's like you have your own mini group of marketers. It is most effective when it's done as a carefully created campaign. Again, you want to make sure that you're building relationships with these influencers. You don't want to just have them post one review and, you know, they never mention your brand again. You want to find your influencers by deciding the type and the size, and then creating your campaign based on the previous slides. You want to remember that more followers do not equal more results. Again, between the number of fake followers, it's not always effective. And one way you can kind of easily eyeball that is if you go on someone's page and say they have 1 million followers, and you go in a post and they only have like 500 likes, you can kind of tell pretty early on that a good number of those are going to be fake. You usually want to go again with nano influencers, because if you look at their audience size and at least 10 to 20% of people are, responding, that kind of lets you know, like, okay, this is a pretty genuine audience. And then you want to use your KPIs to effectively measure your campaigns. So before I give you guys any homework, do you have any questions?
Well, I don't have questions, but I would like, we'll see if there are other questions. I would like for us to just chat a little bit about whether influencer marketing is right or not for a particular business type. I think you had a slide on it. If we can go back to it, I think we did. I saw a slide on that.
The business types.
Just to kind of help some of the businesses and individuals on the call determine, you know, what are the things that would make you think influencer marketing is not correct for you? Because as Kishia said, we are in a day and age where it pretty much it should work for everyone, but what are the struggles that some of the businesses on the call would identify as to why they think influencer marketing would not work for their business, so that we can help walk and talk through that. So that's my question, more so to the audience, not necessarily to you, Kishia.
Gotcha.
So if anyone in the Zoom wants to pop in, I'll check Facebook in a moment to see if there are any comments. But any business on the call that would say they're not quite sure that influencer marketing is for them, so we can help talk through that. So we can use that as an example.
And it can even be a specific medium. So say you are uncertain about TikTok or Instagram or whatever have you.
Hi, excuse me. My name is Takia. I have a nonprofit, and with the program that I'm looking to do marketing with, it deals with work from home opportunities. And I'm just trying to figure out how to leverage this type of marketing with that. And I'm not sure how I can make the two mesh well. And it's funny because between my siblings and my son, I pretty much I have coverage for all of the different types, from the nano to the mega within my own family, that I know I can use, but it's just, I don't know how I would use it for my particular program.
You said your business is, what is it, Takia?
It's a nonprofit.
Okay.
So what we do is we provide work from home. This particular program provides work from home opportunities for people that are generally, well, my focus is for anybody, but my focus is for people that are underrepresented. You know, you stay at home moms, you're disabled, people that would like to be able to work from home, but don't generally have the opportunity to work from home.
Are you about to say something, Kishia?
So I think to me, it would be, hear me? Hello?
Yes, Kishia breaking up for just me or for everyone?
I didn't hear anything.
Keisha, we can't hear you.
It broke up for me too.
Okay. Keisha?
Uh-oh.
Okay, I think we can
It
hear you.
must be my internet connection. I'm better.
I think so. Keep talking.
Is it better?
Keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I got a little notification about my internet and I'm like, oh no. No?
You can keep going. It's getting better.
Okay. I was gonna say, so when it comes to that, it sounds like the issue is not influencer marketing as a whole. It is, where are you planning to do the influencer marketing? So to me, because you're providing services that are providing employment for people, your audience and your influencers might be on LinkedIn. You might want to leverage the people that you know on that, or the networks that you've built on LinkedIn, to share your posts or posts for you, in order to get people that are job seekers on to your nonprofits page, or to connect with you all. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, yeah, because they might, like, they're sure, professionals get on TikTok and we dance, but you're not looking for an employment opportunity on TikTok. So you just want to make sure you're on the right platform for your audience.
Right.
The only caveat that I will put to that, Takia, because that's absolutely correct, is depending on kind of, I guess, what your end goal is, getting creative with influencer marketing could work to your advantage. So even if you step out of the realm of what makes the most sense and step into, I think a couple of months ago, I used the example of how teachers and tutors decided to use TikTok as a way to get students and parents to hire them, right? Like, I don't know if the general person would have thought that that would have taken off the way it did. Same thing with some of those in the medical and health field. They use TikTok to convince people to take the vaccine, things of that nature. So you can get creative in those areas. Again, that's more of a campaign on how you would do it. As we think about influencer marketing, you're really thinking about those individuals. So in your case, from what you explained your business, in my mind immediately, I'm looking for someone, a mother, maybe a stay-at-home mom, or someone who transitioned from corporate to home, whatever, that can truly tell their story. You go live with them, whether you go live on Facebook, whether you go live on Instagram, whether you do a LinkedIn Live. And you all know we talked about LinkedIn Live being a very interesting process a few months ago. But whatever platform you're doing, you're getting that person who you think is very effective in your industry and that has transitioned and can tell that story. They become your influencer. They're a prime example. So yes, the medium does matter, absolutely. But you make sure that really people can connect to that individual or number of individuals. Does that make sense? So since you are the business, you're the company, you might have that story. You could essentially, and I want everybody to hear this part, you could essentially be your influencer. It's very possible. You know your story better than I know your story. You know your industry better than I know your industry. So you can do that. You can be that. You just have to literally think through those things. I think next week, I'm not quite sure, don't quote me. I think next week we'll help you kind of identify who could be an influencer, whether it's you or whether it's someone within your network, whether it's a number of people in your network, whether it's an organization in your network, whatever the case may be. But you can make that work you can make those things work to your advantage, Takia. You just have to really think about, okay, what's the best way to reach the audience that I'm trying to reach? Should they hear from a child who's now mom or dad is working at home with them and they get to spend more time with mom and dad and they're really happy, and boom, that child is actually now your biggest influencer? Is it a lot of universities, especially in the West Coast, they went viral for this during the pandemic, but is it people who are posting pets and showing the reaction pets are now having to their owner because the owner is always home with them, and it's showing how happy and whatever the pets are? Personally, I didn't understand it, but it really worked out. So I think you have to really be creative and really think about what's happening in my industry, in my business that will impact those that I want to reach. So in your example, I think those are two things. Tony, I saw you put something in the chat, but I can't see it. So can you just say it?
And to piggyback off what Magali just said, again, that goes back to the type. So what she was describing to me would be like a lifestyle influencer, or like she said, a stay-at-home mom. You just want to make sure that you're thinking about the type, the size, and then the campaign. So it's 3 parts mainly to it.
Hi, y'all. I just put in the chat that just because I know that she mentioned that she has people in her family that are already influencers. I did just want to make a note that just because you have access to those influencers doesn't necessarily mean that you should use them, because they could be talking to somebody that, you know, that you don't need to be talking to, or would be wasting your time at the end of the day. So just because you have access to those influencers and you know them doesn't necessarily mean that they're talking to the audience that you want to talk to.
Can you give an example to be more clear about what you're communicating?
Okay, so my business is Building the Boss, and I help entrepreneurs have a successful entrepreneurial lifestyle, meaning a successful business brand and overall experience. And so I'm talking to entrepreneurs. Now, my best friend, she is a beauty influencer. She's an esthetician. Unless she's doing a workshop to teach other estheticians, I don't need her as an influencer. She's influencing people to be beautiful and take care of their skin. She is an influencer, but I would not use her, even if it's for free. I would not use her to influence her audience to use my services, because we're not talking to the same people.
And I would actually jump in just to say, like you did say, unless she then pivots to say, you know, you can do what I do, and here's how, then you two could work together. Yeah, correct.
Yes. Yeah.
Was that helpful?
There's a question in the chat. Bailey says she had
Yes,
a
it was.
question. I'm sorry. Did that question get answered?
Oh, no, thank you, Tasha. Bailey, you have a question?
Hi, yes, I'm Danette Bailey. And now, if you don't want this question or yet, then I won't be offended if you tell me not to ask this yet. But like, I like to know the information, but quite frankly, like I've learned from everything that I've just like been participating in with workshops, like I want to know the information, but I feel like I really just want someone else to do it. And so I want to ask Kishia, like, and if it's not appropriate now, just let me know, like, just like, what's the reality and cost, and just like, like saying to someone like you, listen, I realize how this works because you should, but I don't really want to do it. Can you just do it? Like just how much does this cost? And just like, you do it.
Honestly, it depends on the person and the firm. But I, again, understand this is just for whoever wants to learn how to do this. And I think it's also good to have exposure to this, right? Because you don't want someone else to do it and then you have no idea if what they're telling you is right. I don't know if you meant me specifically or just marketing companies in general.
Well, you're here, so I definitely want to know you. And I'll just tell you, like, just so you, be more specific. Like, I have a preschool. My preschool is small. Like, I have a waiting list that's crazy. So I don't really need to like market, because then people will probably get angry if I just start saying I don't have spaces. But the other thing that I do is I write. I'm an author, and like I do YouTube videos, and I want to be an influencer in that respect, because I really want to help people understand how they can help their children, even if they're not with me. So really that part is what I need, not necessarily my preschool, even though it says baby preschool up there. So that's what I mean. I
will share my info and we can talk offline if you like, so we can chat more.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Sorry if I wasn't, I was just like, I'm not, I want to know the information. Don't get me wrong. It's just like,
yeah.
Okay. I don't want to like, I'm not.
No, it's not inappropriate at all, Bailey.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, also we encourage that you reach out to our presenters and hopefully support their businesses as well. What I will say, I definitely think you should reach out to Kishia and make sure that that works out however you want it to work out. As you continue through this particular series, and Kishia, correct me if I'm wrong, next week I know that we are going over how you get started with influencer marketing. So today you learned a lot of the background and basics that kind of help you understand that. But next week, we're talking about how do you find your influencers? What do you need to look for? We'll share some different examples of your influencers, some best practices. We'll we'll start a bit about running an influencer marketing program. And then to your specific point, how much does it cost? And how do you achieve your ROI? How do you achieve the return on your investment when you're doing influencer marketing? So as it relates to the cost that you're specifically talking about, not the cost to hire a company, that's different. That's what you need to reach out to Kishia for. When you're talking about if you're running your own influencer marketing program campaign for your business or whatever you have going on, how do you budget for that? Like, how do you budget for having an influencer, right? So those are some of the things that you'll hear more about next week to hopefully help you better understand and run through that. So just kind of look forward to that as well, in complement to what you will speak with about Kishia.
Yeah, next week will be more of a deep dive. And again, this is just kind of like a high level view. And that is why I'm gonna bring it over to the homework. I want you guys to try this out. That way, as we go more into the series, it'll make more sense to you. So for your homework, I want you to plan a mini campaign and actually do work to get it started so you can see what the process looks like. So it's 3 main steps. 1, I want you to decide a campaign based on that slide. How do you feel like you want to promote your brand? Do you want a review? Do you want someone to say the top 3 things about your service or your business? Do you want someone to post a video showing the product features? Decide what campaign you want. Do you want to use also, if you look in, I don't know how many of you use hashtags, I hope all of you, you can often sometimes just look at some of your hashtags, and customers will have posted reviews or posted, their own videos already in your hashtag. So if that's something you want to do, ask them if you can use it and, post that, or ask them to make another post. But decide on what you want to do for a campaign. Do you want to find someone, send them free products, give them a trial, give them an affiliate code? The next step is find an influencer. So look through your followers, as we said, look through your brand hashtags, and at a nano, or if you have it micro level, macro level, whatever level you have influencers potentially at, and see who you can use as an influencer. I say nano because it's the easiest to start with, and you don't really have to pay anyone. It's typically free, or, people like getting free things or discounts. So you can usually start there. And often they'll just do it just because they actually love your brand and love whatever you offer. So find an influencer, and I want you to reach out to 5. Find 5, reach out to them. After you have an outline of your plan, reach out, ask them for permission if you're using their post, or create an affiliate discount code to distribute it if that's how you want to drive, if you have a product base. But communicate with them the campaign expectations. Say, hey, I you to do a review, if you can do a post, or if you could do a story. Let them know the method of what you want them to do. Let them know what platform you want it on. If you want them to do a TikTok dance, if you want them to do a live on Instagram, on LinkedIn, if you want them to just share a post that you've done, just make sure you communicate what their requirement is and what they will, if anything, get in return. I think that's something everybody can do by next week.
I agree, Kishia. I think that's fair enough for everyone to get done in a week's time. Did anybody have any questions about the specific homework that Kishia just assigned?
And I want to hear about it next week.
That's fair. That's fair. And honestly, I know I give this spiel at least every 3 weeks, but if you don't do these things, you're not helping your business or your organization move forward. That's the whole point of these series and these sessions, to help your business move forward. So you all will receive, I think I just put in the chat, and for those on Facebook, I'll come and put it on there as well. But you all will receive this presentation in your email as long as you registered through the Eventbrite. Unfortunately, if you registered only through the previous Zoom link, we don't have access to that. So if you did not register via the Eventbrite, please drop your email address in the chat so that myself or Tasha can collect those and add it to our list. And again, we strive to send presentations by Friday. You may receive it today, you may receive it tomorrow, but Friday is the latest that you will receive that presentation. So if you did not register for today's session via Eventbrite, please drop your email address in the chat or on Facebook in the comment section, and we will grab that and make sure that you receive it. And just so you know, FYI, because again, we saw our technical nightmare earlier today. Technology was just a nightmare. You will also have a new Zoom link to join Marketing Outside the Box starting next week. So please look out for the Hustle emails. If you join us through the Small Business Center, check out their emails, as well as Flywheel, so that you have the most updated link to join Marketing Outside the Box, because it won't be the link that you've been using for the past 6 months or so. And it won't be today's link. Today was my personal Zoom, but it won't be today either. So just make sure that you don't have that old link saved, because it probably won't work again. Just want to make sure I say that so you are aware to look out for a new link starting next week. Sorry, Kishia, I know you're about to share your information.
Oh yeah, sorry. I didn't know if my typing was loud, but I'm gonna drop my email address and my phone number in for Bailey and whoever else has any questions. I do ask that if you do use my phone number, just text me your name first, because I get a lot of calls and I want to make sure I answer for you.
And I know something that a lot of our previous presenters have done in the past to help the presenter know who you are when you contact them, everyone. Just let them know, just let Kishia know you are contacting her through Hustle or through Marketing Outside the Box, because that kind of clicks and rings a bell for her to remember which presentation or which topic specifically she may be assisting you in.
And I realized, sorry, I sent that as just a direct message. Oops. I don't know why mine always defaults to that. I think it's the strangest thing. All right, there we go. Does anyone have any more questions? I know we have like a few more minutes. Or any comments? Anyone already started on their campaign?
Hi, I am Kishia Horton. Nice to meet you, Kishia. So many of us.
Hello.
I am a therapist starting my own private practice. And I want to gear myself towards the 15 to 25-year-old range, the young adult teenager population. What platform would you recommend that I use to be an influencer of some such for mental health services for that range?
TikTok, for sure. Even I've seen like, the little dances where, can you hear me? It's saying
Yes.
my internet is unstable. Solar flare. Okay. So I don't know if you've seen like TikToks where it's like, mental health, and they talk about facts and they do like little dances, but it's still informative. You can use other influencers, or you can even do things like that and put them on TikTok, or have, other clients participate. But I think TikTok is pretty much where that Gen Z generation is at.
Yeah, I've done some of those fun TikToks. I have a daughter who's almost 20 years old that has helped me. But I figured that's what you was gonna say. I just wanted to confirm, because it is a lot of work.
Yeah, they can be with the editing. And again, Instagram is still where the majority of people go, but Gen Z, they love their TikTok. So
yeah. All right, thank you.
And YouTube, Kishia Horton, and YouTube,
Yes.
Generation. They live and die by YouTube as well. So just make sure that you are utilizing it if you're trying to reach them.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, that's awesome, Monica. Yeah, make sure then you just start already and start deciding your campaign and reach out to them by next week and find out, if they're interested. That's awesome.
What's awesome? What did she say?
She says, yes, Kishia, I was looking at our current IG followers and realized that one of our former clients would be considered a micro influencer. So that's awesome. So you guys, you already have these people in your backyard. You just need to know where to look and on what platform.
That's cool. All right. It is great, Monica. Okay, we are right about at 1:30. If there aren't any more questions for Kishia.
And if not, you have my information. Again, feel free to reach out, make contact. I'm here.
Okay.
I mean, I have a question. I have a question, but I feel like we don't have time to answer it.
No, you can. I just want to say quickly, if you have to leave at 1:30, we completely understand. Don't feel obligated, but go ahead, Tony.
I was just wondering, because if you could explain the difference between like testimonials and influencers and how they could potentially overlap, or what initially separates them and all of that.
So testimonials is a form of using and leveraging influencers, if that makes sense. It's a type of campaign. The influencer is the person, and you want to make sure, again, it's the right person in the right industry on the right platform. Those are like the questions with the right following that you want to essentially start with. And now when you do find and identify that person, typically they're good at, you can, again, collaborate with them. Typically they're good at knowing what information resonates with their audience. So my audience might not want me to just say, hi, this product is this, this, and this. My audience might want to see me do a little dance and point out the things I like. So it could be very collaborative to find out what it is they want, but that's your campaign type. Again, the testimonials. But if that resonates with them, you know, depending on the influencer, you can use that form, or you could use, you know, my top 3 favorite things about this is, or unboxing videos. I'm sure you all have seen that. That's a form of influencer marketing, when people buy something from a specific brand and it's like, watch me open everything I just bought from Fashion Nova. So the campaign is your strategy. And then the type of influencer is, you know, what is their online brand? What is their online persona? Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
And I think if there aren't any more questions, we may be good to go, and look forward to seeing everybody next week. Again, please watch your emails for the correct link. We will send that out the latest Friday. And of course, if you receive our email blast, it'll be in our email blast. So glad, I'm reading the comments. So glad that you all found it informative, and Kishia will be back with us next week and for the rest of July. So you're not done with her just yet. And Kishia and Bailey, if you haven't already connected, I'll give you a moment to connect in the chat before I end the Zoom. But everyone else, please enjoy the rest of your week. Do your marketing outside the box homework. We will see you next week.
Yes. And then, yeah, Bailey, I don't know if you saw it, put my number in there, but yes. And let me see. Okay, sorry. I'm actually responding to some direct messages. Okay, cool.
All right,
and again, that information was not just for Bailey. Whoever else has questions, feel free to shoot me a message, a text message, email, and I'll reply to you.
Awesome. Well, everyone enjoy the rest of your week. I have a hair appointment that I must go to, so. It's been great, and see you all next week. Thank you, Kishia.
All right, see you all later.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye.